How you got started in the fitness world. I know you have a little bit of a dance background.
Oh yeah,
right?
there's a dance background.
You're listening to the Hustle Hard Project podcast. My name's Austin Montero, and my mission is to help fuel a generation and do that the right way. And part of that mission involves sitting down with health and wellness entrepreneurs to engage in conversation about their stories, service, the lessons they've learned along the way, and how they make an impact and create awareness in our community. Alright guys, welcome back to the Hustle Hard Project. I'm here with the world famous Mike Sabato of CrossFit Norwalk. How's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Great. Thank you for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So me and Mike go way back here from the CrossFit world since, 2010 now? Almost a decade, which is crazy. Mike's an OG in the CrossFit world and a pretty badass athlete, in my opinion, the fittest guy in Connecticut. Hands down. Not even close. So, we like to start off these podcasts and interviews with the simple question of who are people that influence you or even things that have influenced you growing up or professionals nowadays or, any other influences that brought you to where you are now?
Yeah. So, I gotta go with Rocky Balboa.
Oh, yes.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Completely kidding. Had to play that as the Italian card, right? Kid growing up.
Rocky 4 is pretty great, though. Yeah.
It's great. Build your body, whatever.
We play it here all the time.
Motivational. But
yeah.
I don't know. My biggest influencer, honestly, is probably my grandfather.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's awesome.
Seemed to start his own business, but just the way he carried himself, right? He passed when I was 10 years old,
right?
And was my best friend growing up, and everything about who he was, how he treated other people, and how he managed things. Like, he had stresses for sure, like anybody else, but he never showed that. He never, very rarely raised his voice, right? And he was always logical, always thought out, and always cared about his people, always cared about his family.
That's great.
And truthfully, that's the resonating thing, right? And there's a ton of stuff. I mean, certain teachers,
of course,
right?
Of course.
I was going to be a math teacher. Mr. Grappone was a jacked math teacher when I was a junior in high school.
Yeah.
And
I have one of those too. Yeah.
Martial arts, man. I when I was 4 years old, started Taekwondo. So the guy that taught me martial arts back in the day was 18.
Right.
And for me, he was the bee's knees, right? Like, he was second to Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtle.
Right. Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
And I wanted to be like him.
Yeah.
So truth, honor, integrity. There's,
I love it.
where we stem from.
Yeah, I mean, very similar. If you asked me the same question, I would honestly give you the exact same answer.
Basically, yeah.
What our grandfather says, that is something that resonates with me. Every time I see him, he tells me they don't make men like they used to, and it's like what you just said exactly. The integrity, just do your fucking job. Don't complain.
Do your job. Don't complain.
Be nice
about
to
it.
others. Serve others.
Dude, everybody's got
engage
their own.
in conversation and relationship, like, authentically.
Yes.
And that's, the older I get, and I'm sure you feel the same way, you see that more and more, and maybe not so much when you're a kid, but more and more now.
You grow to appreciate it when you're older, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you could say it and you could listen to it and be like, I get it.
Right.
But then you truly start to appreciate those that listen, those that ask the questions, and those that don't, belabor their own burdens or gripe about traffic or weather or things
whatever,
you can't
control. Yeah.
Ultimately, everybody's got their own fight, and be pleasant. Be pleasant. Help other people out.
Yeah, I love it. So with that being said, Mike is the head coach right now at CrossFit Norwalk. Some maybe other big things coming down the road there.
Down the pipe.
I've been there a lot, coached there for a brief amount of time, filling in at CrossFit Norwalk, and been to many comps at Mike's gym. The one thing I noticed that I've never really noticed in many places is when you walk in there, there's what's the word I'm looking for? Environment, atmosphere of just openness, friendliness. Mike treats everybody there like he's your best friend, and it's totally genuine. So when you go into that gym, you feel no weirdness, no awkwardness. You just feel like you're part of the tribe.
No gym intimidation.
Right, and I think that comes from what you just said about your grandfather. Probably like you've just seen that growing up. So it's totally natural because it's kind of what you were taught.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's the only thing I know.
That's awesome. I love it.
Love others. Treat them with respect.
Yeah.
And when they walk through the door, right, they're paying a good dime for some fitness, man.
They are.
And as much as I'd love to say thrusters and pull-ups are gonna get me by for a lifetime, like
eventually,
make it the best hour of their day, right? And care about them, right? Care about others, because you know what? Everybody's especially in like this Instagram and social media day,
Mm-hmm.
right? You see everybody, saying they're fighting a good fight. They're going to rise to the top. They're going to make it. They're going to make it where, right? Like, what are these?
Yeah.
You
We're all
know,
going
you
to the same place.
You don't have, we're all going to the same place, and you don't have to do it alone.
No.
Right? Like, yes, develop yourself internally, right? Read, develop like your skill set, whatever that may be. Build yourself internally, emotionally, and but then like help out other people.
Yeah.
Man, that's like,
I love it. Yeah.
it's like rather
Service,
than exactly that, seeking out big sponsorships or other crap like that.
Right.
That's forest
whatever.
beyond the trees.
Yeah.
Help other people.
That's just topping on the cake, icing on the
Yeah.
cake. Serve everybody, and that's one thing I definitely noticed at your gym, and it's, everybody, just every match says the exact same thing, which I think says all you need to know,
Sweet, man. Thank
How
you.
did you, I think you have an interesting story, maybe not a lot of people know, of how
Maybe.
you got started in the fitness world. I know you have a little bit of a dance background.
Oh, yeah,
right?
there's a dance background.
So tell us quickly about that.
So, truthfully, it's teaching movement, man,
Right.
right? Like, I was a karate kid growing up. It's my first job, like, teaching people from 4 to 67 years old how to kick and punch. But it's the same thing. It was, like, the gateway. I truly just like people and want to help them set and achieve goals. So, like, then dance, right, to bring that in without making a super long story. In 8th grade, I got dragged into it by my best friend's little sister, right?
Okay.
Her and like 4 of her friends wanted to join a dance school. And unfortunately for them, they hadn't started when they were super young.
Yeah.
And for girls, 50 per class, like booked up, done.
Right.
But if you signed up with a guy, they were allowed entry into the class, right? No matter
Okay.
what class the guy went into. So in 8th grade, I did what's called musical theater. Right,
Okay.
and I got roped into it. I was like, musical. I think it was musical comedy back then. They called
Right,
it.
right.
So I had no idea that it was just you dancing with a girl.
Yeah.
But my mom was like, "Hey, you're going." So
You're doing it. Sign up.
and then fast forward 5 years, and senior year in high school, like I'm wrapping it up, going to Fairfield U next year, and one of the instructors was moving, relocating to Florida, and he was in charge of the boy-girl situation. And they were like, "Hey, we could use some help with ballroom."
Yeah.
And if you wouldn't mind, like, a couple hours a week, help out here and there. And I was like, yeah. Teach simple things,
Yeah.
swing, cha-cha, little
That's
steps
awesome.
here and
That's
there.
awesome. That's
And I did that for like, I want to say 7 years.
Wow.
And we actually just
long?
had the last year of the Walter Schock School of Dance right here
Right.
in Wilton, Connecticut.
Yeah.
It was this past year.
Okay.
They brought us back, had a bunch of alumni dance together, and it
Jeez.
was a lot of fun, man.
It's like Dancing with the Stars.
Almost. Except I don't know if I'm the star. I'm not really that professional with it.
But hey, it's pretty interesting. Do you think it helped with your fitness at all, like on a
I
personal
think, honestly, it's very funny, right? Like teaching people
Yeah.
how to move in a variety of realms
Right.
definitely just broadened my scope, right? Like it's exactly that. It's a lot more than knees out and sit your butt back, right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
give different analogies,
Right.
right? Like I remember, right, Walter is an 80-something-year-old man teaching one step in the fad. He would be like, oh, if you're on a soccer field, you're doing this, right? Like always trying to relate
Yeah.
to the person.
Right.
And I think that helped me more than anything else.
sure, yeah.
Right? Just learning how to connect
Connect
with
in different
anybody,
ways, yeah.
right? Whether it's,
That's-
skiing, it's,
Any-
soccer, anything.
anything,
Or if they haven't
anything.
played a sport, something different.
Anything, yeah. That's
Yeah.
I mean that's the key to coaching. Like you said, anything.
Yeah, man.
Connection, finding that common ground.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Breaking through all the bullshit and all the masks we wear and trying to get
Exactly.
on the same playing field.
Exactly.
Let's go down the fitness path a bit.
Yeah.
Mike's, if you don't know, is incredibly strong. What would be your advice to people, starting out in the fitness training field, we'll say, trying to get to that strength level, trying to build strength? It's overall training philosophy, I guess.
Yeah. Overall training philosophy. Well, we're going to go down the route of Dan John, right? I'm a huge fan of Dan
Oh, wow.
John.
Okay, yeah.
Good old 2 first names,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Easy
yeah.
to remember.
Yeah.
And he wrote this book, but back in the day it was just like, forums, threads, and like
Yeah.
little blog articles and whatever. And his first book was Never Let Go. And that, along with, he's written like 5 books now, like, as far as assessment and all this other stuff. But he's very much a keep it simple kind of guy,
Okay.
right? Stick
Yeah.
to the basics,
Mhm.
right? You get squat, the press, the pulls,
Right.
right? In varieties. Stick with something, keep it simple. If it sounds too good to be true, it is,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's crucial, and consistency over time is going to win out.
That's it.
No matter what. Like, just start, right? First off.
mhm.
Second, don't try to do everything in one day,
Can't.
right? Like, you could, again, go to the IG, right? The Instagram pages of, like, some dude that's super jacked and fit now, and
doing
he's,
something crazy.
doing whatever on a med ball, twisting with his band and whatever.
Yeah.
And honestly, yeah, there are some, good ideas out there, right? For sure. As far as on the rehab perspective,
Right.
absolutely, right? How to warm up properly, for sure. But if that becomes the entirety of your fitness, then we're missing out on the big picture,
Right, yeah,
right?
sure.
How to get up out of a chair, right? How to put things over your head, how to pick them up off the ground, and that's it.
That's it. I love
Right?
it. Yeah.
Keep it simple.
So with that being said, with CrossFit, as we all know, if you're into CrossFit, it's changed a bit in the last year, we'll say, going to more of the route you just talked about. What are your feelings on the whole change of CrossFit?
So it's tough because I see it both ways,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For sure. I definitely see it from the brand's perspective of the idea, and as an owner, you know it too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
truthfully, like we've lucked out, right?
Yeah.
We hit it at the right time.
Right, yeah.
As far as making it to regionals, yes, feather in the cap, absolutely.
Yeah.
Did it as a team, sweet. Individual,
Right.
awesome.
Fun, yeah,
Stars align, great open workouts, boom. However, that is such a small percentage, yet it takes up a lot of the visual of it,
Yeah.
right? Like, there's so many people in the gym that getting their first pull-up is it, right?
That's it,
Is the
yeah.
thing. And that should be celebrated just as much, if not more,
Right.
than walking on your hands up and down an obstacle, right? Or who is marginally the fittest in kinetic, right? You know, little things like that. And so while I say, you know, it's interesting, and it's definitely the CrossFit way, all or nothing, rip the Band-Aid off. Like,
Right.
hey, we want to shift the focus here. There's no real like gradual turn. It's more of a pivot. And so I get it from that perspective,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
that
Like
makes sense, yeah.
getting people off of blood sugar meds and, you know, dropping 100 lbs.
Yeah, that part's great.
That's
incredible,
huge.
you know?
And, you know, that's again, big picture as far as health and fitness is concerned. If we want to make
For
a
sure.
dent,
For sure.
maybe a little shift in focus isn't
Yeah.
a bad idea.
Agreed. Long term, yeah.
Long term, yes. Then on the other hand, though,
Yeah.
for us, I get it. Like, you have 15,000 affiliates out there, and we're all built, predicated on the idea of the whiteboard,
Yeah.
right? And, you know, you want to improve yourself, improve this and that, and having goals and setting and
Right.
achieving goals.
Right.
And ultimately, that setting and achieving goal thing, we'll get back to that. But that's why we became what we became.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people out there, I know a lot of individuals that have sacrificed a lot
A lot, yeah.
to try to become the fittest or as fit as they
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
or to just accomplish a goal,
Right.
right? Truthfully, because
Yeah.
they know. I mean,
No matter what it is, yeah.
unless you're going to be top 3 at the CrossFit Games, which is 3 out of 400,000, and even still, like, the odds
Yeah.
are further against
You
you.
could probably pick the top 3 right now.
You probably pick
You
the
know?
top 3 right
Yeah.
now, and not going to speak too soon. When does
Yeah.
it start? Tomorrow? 2 days,
I
2
think,
days, right? Thursday?
Yeah, what day is it? Yeah. Yeah, this
August
week.
1st?
Couple days, yeah.
This week.
Tomorrow or Thursday, yeah.
But hey, you know, the young bucks out there that, you know, wanted to pursue a dream and had a moment in time where the fitness was the outlet.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And for example, like Josh at our gym, that's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing. Glad he punched a ticket last year, man.
I know,
Regionals
looking back at
2018, RIP regionals, but
I know.
That's
That's funny. I actually had a talk with him. He asked me my opinion.
yeah.
And I told him to go on the team. I said I wouldn't pass up
Yeah.
not knowing what's happening.
Oh man.
Because your guys, I thought, you know, with you and him, it's
It'd be
incredible,
dynamite.
you know, it might not ever happen again. And
Yeah.
it's not
That's
gonna happen
true.
again. It's the team.
On that
'Cause now
front,
it's like
for
totally
sure.
changed. Like, it's still good, you know, but
Yep.
not in the same format.
Yeah.
But yes, I like how you just said how it's an outlet to accomplish a goal. You know,
Yeah.
I've never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
It's not just fitness, but any goal. So like that's a nice way to look at it.
Well, that's truthfully it too, man. Like, granted, we do take a CrossFit approach with programming and this and that, and like, honestly, the keep it simple method is for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But it allows people to take a step back and focus on one thing. And if you can improve one thing, whether it be your movement, whether it be
Yeah.
your diet, whether it be your anything,
Yeah.
that's a snowball effect, man, for life.
Oh, for sure.
Right? And that's
sure.
honestly, like, martial arts and the belt system growing up.
Yeah.
Like, hard work will get you here.
Yeah.
Right? Don't see the big picture. Don't see the end game.
One day at a time,
See
yeah.
the little thing.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
The little victories every single day. And
That's
if
it.
you can do that, or if you could get people to see that and see how rewarding that process is,
Yeah.
that's really it. They could take control of their lives, right? Versus, you know, go around and I've got a bad back or this
It's
and
not
that,
that,
right?
yeah.
Like, or like come in and they're like, oh, I used to be super fit back in the day, but I'm so far from that. It's like, no. Instead of thinking about being there or being Hulk Hogan tomorrow or
Right.
doing whatever,
Yeah.
right? Like, set one little goal, accomplish it, and continue on
it.
over and over
Yeah.
and over again, and then, you know, support them in the
See what you're gonna
process.
do. Yeah, I love it. And that's kind of brought me to my next question.
Yeah.
Your definition of success, and I think you just kind of answered it. Basically, the day-to-day progression.
Absolutely.
Not focusing in on what could happen 2 years from now,
Yeah.
but day-to-day getting better.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and everything you do.
have goals, have
Yeah.
ambitions, right? Like, don't get me wrong, we all started in the fitness world wanting to look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club.
Of course.
Wanting to look like Arnold.
Schwarzenegger, yeah.
Right, for sure.
Ronnie Coleman.
All of them. Right, dude. Balboa, right? Rocky 3, shredded up. Rocky
Van
4,
Damme.
huge.
Big
Van
Van
Damme.
Damme.
His splits, man, I got to get back to that
Yeah.
because that is long gone for me. But it
never
comes
had it,
back
yeah.
to that day
Yeah.
to day, right?
Mhm.
Like, starting now, 10 minutes every day, back into it.
Yeah, I love it.
But that's, like, it's definitely great to have that external motivation or that inspiration. But you have to look internally and see the little victories, see the day-to-day, the little improvements that you can make in anything. And
I love it,
way to attack life.
So with longevity in CrossFit, do you think it's possible? I mean, it's impossible for you, like we talked about off camera before. And I think it's because you don't neglect anything in your training, and I think sometimes being built a certain way helps.
Yeah.
I know, from my personal standpoint, I neglected mobility a great deal and probably did way too many WODs, we'll say.
Yeah.
Not focus on building strength from the beginning. But again, back in those old days, you didn't really know.
You didn't really know.
Just made
it was the Wild West,
up
man.
on the fly, yeah.
And more
Let's
is
do this,
better,
let's do
right?
that.
Like,
Chris
exactly.
Spieler is doing Fran in 1 minute. I'm like, I can do this 3 times in a day.
Yeah,
It's
let me
done.
put the bars right underneath the rig and see what I can do.
So longevity would be just...
Honestly, I think that comes down to the way you take it, right? Like, for example, there are certain workouts where you are going down the rabbit hole, right? And that might not be an everyday thing. You can definitely push yourself in one aspect or another, right? But having a movement focus, like there's now not for time workouts, right? Like we throw those in regularly, weekly, right? Like, hey, pick up some stuff, carry a sandbag, work on some solid planks when we do it, and rack up some good movement for some time. Second, I think the community piece is going to be eternal, right? Without a doubt. Because there is nowhere, and like going on vacation will teach us to you too. There is nowhere that has such a supportive community that's supportive of your image, your body, right? Like your overall health, right? Yeah, we'll go out and have a few drinks sometimes, but dude, that's not going to be an everyday thing, right? Or if someone doesn't show up to the gym, they're going to get a text message from somebody in their class, like, hey, like what's going on? How you doing? You cherry picking or we coming in? And I think that community piece, call it what you will, call it CrossFit, call it whatever, is going to be eternal. I think, though, honestly, if stuck to traditional CrossFit, like gone are the days of 3-hour training sessions, right? Like, and honestly, I think that's
Monster Mash
from the mashups, man. We'll do those once a week and then recover for the rest of the week. But like, I don't know, if you take a holistic view on it, you push, pull, squat, hinge, repeat. And carry stuff, right? But do your mobility. Take care of yourself. I think it's feasible. I mean, I'm personally 10 years in now.
That's pretty good. Good case study right there.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, granted, I'm a different breed, right? I conveniently happen to be in the gym all day long.
Yeah, it's true. It helps.
But at the same time, knock on wood, right? We have a pretty good track record thus far, and we'll see.
And you're still competing, and you're still, So that's a big competitions obviously take a ton out of you, but
they do. And that as a motivator, I mean, yes, good, because it will again promote some goals, right? Like, hey, I want to get my whatever, even a silly thing like butterfly pull-ups down, right? Fine. Competition, you have some deadline to it. People will react under a deadline, right? It's like the teacher in high school that's like, oh well, like for your class project or whatever, or your thesis, you're gonna have to do it by the end of the semester, and you're like, end of the semester, whatever. But if someone said like, all right, you have to get this done by August 1, you're going to get to business tonight, right? And get to actually taking steps in the right direction. Yeah,
that's why I love the competitions, and that's we hosted a ton.
Oh yeah.
You guys host a ton.
And it brings out the best in people in the community, right? Like
for sure, you see
so many people, so many old photos, right? You're talking about Facebook or like memories and things like that. And you'll see people screaming their heads off with Ian with like 335 over his head or whatever, right? And or somebody the last on the floor, right? Everybody cheering their head off to help this person get through and accomplish something, and that's
eternal. Sort of the magic, and that's what. That's really what makes CrossFit the best to me, is just the community, like you said, and just I love the competition side for what Mike just said. Cheering for the first and the last person. You don't see that in any other sport.
Anywhere.
Any other sport. I know my favorite moment, probably CrossFit wise, grid wise, was when we were on a grid team, met Denver Mad Hatters.
Boom.
For the win to beat Bridgewater. Only team to ever beat Bridgewater. Jay, that's for you, Caldas. If you're watching, I'll send it to you. Mike hit something like, I don't know, 16 thrusters to win or something like that. 18, 21.
Oh, yeah. That was
185 or 165.
some bananas.
And the whole team went nuts.
Whole team went nuts.
It was great. I can still see it.
You got some party tricks here.
Yeah, I can still see it here.
Bridgewater, man. Like, you got some talented
studs,
cats.
Yeah, some studs. They had a games team come out of that.
Yep.
Games team, top 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lookalike for Rhode Island, Ray.
Yeah, right? You guys could just switch places.
Yep. You had a few more tats, though.
All right, 2 questions left. So if you were on the entrepreneur side, a young kid, us 10 years ago, starting out in the fitness world, especially nowadays, it's way different. We have Instagram, 1 million online coaches. What would you say to that person?
1 million of them. So I would say,
is it worth it?
Care about people.
Yeah.
Right? Care about people. Show ultimately that you have the give a darn factor, right? And it's usually GAS.
Yeah.
But the give a darn factor, if you genuinely care about helping somebody else out, right? Whether it be getting in that summer body or losing 20 lbs or getting off of blood pressure meds, right? Like whatever it is, show you care, right? And not just say that. Don't, just say that for the sake of it sounds catchy or whatever.
Right.
But like truthfully ask them how they're doing, right? When they come to see you, be focused on them. Don't be on your cell phone, right? Talk to them.
The small little things.
Get to know them, right? Because again, truthfully, it comes back to that. We all want to be connected. We all want, somebody to be concerned or help us out, right?
Right, yeah.
And even the loners, and we got to realize it too. Like even people that are like, no, I'd rather do this on my own. Tough, but there's something that made them that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not their fault.
No,
right? It really isn't. Like it could be
something.
Dad didn't hug you or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And truthfully, even if they don't respond like super well to it, find a way where they appreciate you being there for them, and then build yourself, right? Like build yourself as much as you can. Take the time, do the research, learn as much as you can, right? All of the glories in life can be found by looking within yourself.
Yeah, I love it.
And truthfully, if you could find how to control your emotions, not freak out about the small stuff, right? Don't sweat the small stuff. All things are small, especially starting out, right? Because you start worrying about money right away and other things.
Of course.
It's like just get into it, do it because you love it, and care about other people. And then that said, learn. You could always pick stuff up all over. And in this era, there's so much information out there.
So much. You can figure that part out.
All you can do is read and filter out and say, hey, this works for me.
Right.
This is my brand. This is my image. Don't just chase it because somebody else who's got 1 million followers does it.
Right.
Be authentically yourself.
Yeah.
And
it's the best answer. Yeah. Educated, and that takes, I think, over a decade
it takes time
to have that. Yeah. When we started, I probably wasn't there.
Dude, and it takes trial and error, right?
Exactly. Thousands of hours on the floor and in the trenches, and
not to mention with
1 million other different people, personalities, and then
so
yourself,
many. And then the CrossFit, the idea of the WOD, right? Every day you have something different, and it's this matrix of ideas where you're like, oh, we're doing something over here, and then the next day you do something completely different, and here, and the more you fill in those gaps and dots, you have some sort of experience or life experience. And it's kind of like life too. It takes a while, and you running through a few things to learn or understand
for sure
why to be the way you are.
For sure.
And I think, much like in life, if you can take, I forgot what the statement was. It was like a smart man learns from his experiences, a wise man learns from the experiences of others, or something like that, along that line. Yeah. That's one of the biggest things we could take part in.
I love it. Yeah.
Right?
I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. So this was, Mike from CrossFit Norwalk. You have any plugs, any events coming up, or Instagram, or where we can find you in the gym and all that stuff?
CrossFit Norwalk, let's see, on the IG, CrossFit Norwalk, very simple. Myself personally, M Sabato 88, Mike Sabato 88.
Great hashtags on there and great captions.
Yeah, once every 18 days you'll get something.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And
that's how it should be.
CrossFit Norwalk, come stop by, right? In the flesh, man. That's 30 Muller Ave, Norwalk, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And come in.
Yeah, great gym. If you guys are in Norwalk, definitely check it out. Highly recommended. You definitely won't be disappointed. So thanks again. This is episode 4. Yeah. Keep on hustling, guys.